Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hermit Skies, and we will be starting off a lot of the future episodes by standing here and opening these chance cubes one by one. I hope they don't get destroyed though. Looks like our zombie friend despawned from last time, but Cluckington survived. That's good to see. Let's go ahead and open this, and we got given a pick, some torches, a clock, and a compass. Not bad, right? Not bad. And in my inventory, you will also see another type of compass. It is a meteorite compass, and it is spinning around like crazy right now because we are actually on top of the meteorite, right? And you can see that this thing is pointing towards it. And these meteorites are very important because they're going to help us get started on Applied Energistics 2, which is a storage system that is going to make our lives so much easier. You thought those storage drawers I made were good? We're going to hook them up to Applied Energistics and things are going to get crazy. Now, if I open up the quest book and we go into the Energistics Revolution, you will see we've actually done this first one called Pressing, and that's because I've been extremely lucky and I've collected all of these inscribers. You need to get 4 of them, you get a loot chest as a reward, and the place that you get them from are the meteorites, okay? If you're playing a different mod pack and these are out in the normal world, this meteorite compass is cheap. It is very, very helpful. But out here in this dimension that we got access to not so long ago, all you got to do is fly around for a little bit and you'll find another one. And look at that, straight ahead of me, there's one right here. But I knew that because that one back there and this one were the only 2 that I'd gone and visited so far. And I also mined up all of these blocks as well, these sky stones. I think this one looks pretty cool, and I like using that texture when I build, so I mined a bunch of that stuff up. And from those 2, I actually got all of the inscribers that we need. Now, if I press J to bring up the journey map, you can see there's just another one over there. So let's head in that direction. I think it's this way. So here's a fresh one. And I haven't mined this one open yet. What you got to do is just basically dig straight down. Somewhere here in the middle, there's going to be a chest that you can open. Did I just mine the chest? No? Okay, I'm going to make my life easier and I'm going to vein mine this. So we vein mine it all away and we can see that that is the chest. And inside here you get the inscribers and you also get a couple of other things as well. I filled up my inventory full of items and now I desperately need to eat. So that's how you get the inscribers, a little bit of exploration, and if you get lucky like me, it only took 2 of those chests to get this done. The next thing for us to do is to make some inscribers, these things right here. And where are they on this menu? Bam. So they require a couple of things. Iron, we've already been farming that. Sticky pistons and fluix crystals. Now, we've seen that in that dimension we can easily get some slimes. We've also got slimes from chance cubes before, and I got them here in the system, but I wanted to show you another way how to do this, just in case you haven't been to that dimension yet and you didn't want to go. This way is kind of ridiculous and derpy though. If we go over to our fantastic smeltery and we just create a little entrance for ourselves, you know, just come and stand in here. Okay, I'm not really enjoying this, to be honest. I'm taking a bit of damage. This is kind of derpy and silly. And look, the liquids go away when I'm in F5. That's a bit of a bug, really, isn't it? I'm taking a fair bit of damage, and I'm just going to stand here, and I'm going to keep taking damage, and I can eat to regenerate my health. But while we're doing that, we're also creating blood inside of the smeltery. We're filling up our smeltery with my blood. It is kind of weird, but that's what we're doing. And if we switch that out and put it into a blank casting table like this, it will actually create a congealed slime blob like that you can use with a sticky piston. So if you need slimes, you can actually farm it from yourself, from your own juices. It is kind of ridiculous, and then you can make the sticky pistons. Now we are going to make 4 of these inscribers in total, so I've done 8 sticky pistons, and that's going to be 1 for each of these, because we're going to kind of automate everything to make our lives a little bit easier here in the beginning. But the other thing that we need to do is make some fluix crystals, and the way that you do this is you get your charged Certus quartz, which we are farming, you get your redstone, and you turn off your magnet. You do that first, because I'm a bit of a derp and I forgot about that. But you never quartz your redstone and you charge Certus. And I picked it back up. You need to put them into water together, and I've actually got a feeling it needs to be a water source. However, I also see some particle effects going on. Items are flying out all over the place. It's not good. I'm turning this thing back on. We got 2 stacks of fluid crystals, so for a stack of each of those, we double them up for these, which is fantastic. And that, with a little bit of iron, will give us our inscribers. We can craft them now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing. I want to hear a noise in my ear. There it is. There's that jingle. Let's claim our reward, and actually let's open these two up now, because we've got two of these things to get through. Let's hope for something good, fingers crossed and all of that. The first one is Draconic Core. That's going to actually be useful later on in the game. And second of all, 8 carrot pluses with haste for 9 minutes. I mean, with our super tools we don't need that, but that's kind of cool as well. I like that. Yes, there are carrots in this mod pack, and they will give you potion effects when you eat them. It's kind of crazy. I wonder what the fastest thing to smelt inside of this smeltery is. Stone, gold, or glass? They're all pretty slow. You're going to have a bad time in there, buddy. You chose the wrong place to teleport to. Anyway, I've spent a bit of time over here preparing, planning, building, being a bit of a perfectionist and wanting to always do things like next level, you know. So we've got to make this project look good. And I built this little sunk-in area here in the middle because this has really been the heart of our base with the big storage system in front of us. And so I want the ME system or the Applied Energistics system to rest here. And so we need a little bit more space. So we're going to come down here so we can have our terminal in this spot in front of us. And we're also going to put our inscribers here as well. So we've got 4 of them in total. I've crafted another 3 because we're going to use them to make advanced inscribers. And between the 7 of them that we have here, they're going to be able to do all of the jobs that we need them to do to make stuff for this system. So we're going to automate that. Also, I missed a bit of chisel and bits over here. I'll come back and take care of that. But we've got to craft a couple of things first of all. One of those is an energy acceptor, and this right here is quartz glass made from glass and then either of these dusts, which we are farming from our sieves. So easy stuff that you can make. And once we've grabbed that, we need to craft some conduits. Now these conduits are from Ender.io, but they actually work with, well, it says ME there. ME and Applied Energistics are basically the same thing, right? But yes, this requires some quartz fiber. Again, glass and those things will make it. So you know everything that goes into this, right? So with the 3 of these things, we're going to convert our regular energy into energy that can run through the Applied Energistics system. And so around the back here, what I've gone and done is set up one of these ports right here, which we're going to see around our base whenever Applied Energistics comes into a room. It's going to come through one of those. So up here, I've gone and set up the power one, right? So there are conduits up there ready to come down into the room and for us to put our energy acceptor right in the middle of it. I feel like a little bit lower would be a good height for this thing. Let's try around there, and keep in mind whenever I sort of swap between a block and a conduit, we get a lag spike because it's making these blocks you know, transparent, and because we're in a void world, I'm pretty sure that drops lighting updates all the way down to the void, which is kind of bad. So that energy acceptor is now taking energy from our system, converting it into these conduits, and then we can go down the back here and we can attach them to each of our inscribers. So I put in some item conduits, and the way that this inscriber works is it's this slot right here that it can interact with a conduit from the side like so. So for the first 4, what we're going to do is set up some filters on the inserts, and the way you can tell which ones to do is to go over here and click on U, and you'll see that gold is the one that works with that to create this item. So the conduits are going to be able to take and push in from these 2 slots. So we have a filter on insert, and on extract we're even using the same color channel but always active, and I've set that up for all of these, like this one does a diamond. So the one thing that I haven't done at this moment in time is set up this one here. This also needs to go on insert and extract and always active, and in that chest there are a bunch of diamonds, some silicon and some gold, and it's already started moving some of the items around and getting them back as well. It can only do 1 at a time, but that's how you make all of these, and we've automated it as well. So whenever we need some of them, we just chuck the materials into this chest and then we get back each of these. So that's 3 of them going, and the 4th one requires something else because it needs pure Certus quartz to create these printed calculation circuits, okay? Now the way that we make them normally are with growth accelerators. However, this mod pack also has another mod called AE2 stuff, which adds a crystal growth chamber. That thing will make your life 10 times easier. So we're going to jump straight into crafting it, and we need to make some more cables to begin with. So let's get a few of those. Again, we're using materials you've all seen in this video so far, and we want to make 6 of these over here in total, right? And we can actually make 12 of them. So I've miscalculated the amount of resources that I need, but I really don't need more than 1 of these, so there's no point in making more. Also, once you've got 1 of those, you complete a quest as well. I think you also get a quest for doing this, so that's the recipe for the growth chamber right there. And we get one for that as well. Excellent. We're going to be opening more loot chests in this in this episode then. So if I put that next to that, it's now receiving power and it's going to be able to grow crystals for us. So I'm just going to gather the materials and show you exactly how we do that. So we're only after one thing at the moment, but I've prepared all the 3 different types of seeds you can grow in the growth chamber. So we have the Certus quartz dust and the nether quartz dust, which we're getting from our sieves. And then you saw how we made the Fluix crystals earlier. If I click on U for uses, you can basically sag mill this stuff into Fluix dust. And then what you do in your crafting bench, or you could even just do it in your little 2x2 crafting thing, right, is you do this and you get 2 stacks of these seeds. Now with the growth accelerators, what you normally do is put this in water, and it takes a very long time to go from 0 to 100%. But these things will slowly grow now, so we're going to chuck them in here, and if we hover over them, you can see that is really fast. And we're growing all of these using the power from the system here, and the block kind of makes some cool animation as well, which is pretty awesome. So there we go, and it's that crystal right there that we're after. So we just need to attach this to our item filter down the back here. I think it's this one that's free, and you can see I've just put a random item to block it in. You know, I've never tested it. If this is empty but you've got an item filter on, will it act as like a block? It won't put anything in there at all. Anyway, we can do that. It's going to start to take them out, and it's going to start converting them into those circuits that we need. Excellent. So I mentioned it earlier, we're going to need 3 of these advanced inscribers. One of the things they're going to make is actually these right here. So temporarily we need to make some of these. We need 6 in total because they each require 2. So if we grab those, just take one of these basically and put in the items. Oh yeah, you've got to take that out first. Aha, and you're going to have to do, you're basically going to have to sit here and do this one at a time, but it'll be worth it, trust me. Alright, so with 6 of those and a bunch of this stuff, we can make our advanced inscribers. Awesome. Hey, and we get a quest for that as well, that's cool. Now the place I'm going to put these is down here. I was going to have them all in a line, but I think it'd be nicer if the terminal we're going to build in a bit was facing us there. So with those in place, we're now going to automate making these 3 types of processors. And you can see some of the ingredients of things we've already automated here. So I'm going to go around the back with my Ender IO conduits and set that up. So we are all set up and good to go. I just need to enable this again so it can start moving things around, and straight away you can see these machines working. So the setup is very much like we did before, everything on the same channel. This time you want to have both filters on the insert and the extract as well, otherwise you'll run into some problems. And make sure to power this thing as well. I ran into a little bit of trouble when I realized that I hadn't powered it, but everything's up and running now, and so we're making all of those, which means that we can dump the materials into that chest, and then it will end up making loads of this stuff. And I put enough things in here so it should, I believe, make a stack of all of those each. And the redstone has already gone into these ones. Right, that makes total sense. Although they may get distributed unevenly and we may run into some issues that way, right? Although I have set this thing up to round robin, but now I'm probably confusing you with all the lingo jingo, right? What we want to do next is make a crafting terminal, okay? And also we probably want to make something else to attach it to our drawers. But this crafting terminal only requires one of those, and then it requires an ME terminal, which is made out of these annihilation and formation cores. You've now got everything that you need to make these, okay? We've seen these items, right? Just so you know if you're following along. And the illumination panel is made out of quartz glass and other materials that we're farming. So we can now make all of those things. The ME interface is another thing that you'll want to make. It's made out of the formation and annihilation core. So all simple stuff once again. And we need a sticky piston with this as well, because that plus those equals a ME storage bus. Now here is where things get interesting. This system is going to be able to look into our drawer controller, and I'm going to temporarily disconnect this. I'm going to have to find another way to connect it back to the system. What we will do though is attach this cable to that bit there. I think would work, because the cable can pass through any applied Energistics block. Awesome, right. And then coming round to the front here, we're going to put a cable here which will attach itself to the conduit and to that machine, and then we're going to put our crafting terminal on the front of that. And are you ready for it? All of that stuff up there is going to be accessible through this crafting terminal now. Wow, that is superb. That's what we've been working for this whole time. We can now automatically grab stuff from here and craft things down below. If I want, you know, a redstone block, bam, if I click close, those items will go back in there. I should be able to shift click things in. Oh wow, we have just made our lives 100 times easier here on the server. Oh, this is fantastic. Our lives have been made so much easier now. Look at how easy it is to just go in here and craft stuff like this. Except it didn't put that in there, did it? Anyway, we're going to grab a bunch of those as we're going to make a facade, and I think we'll make it out of this one first of all. This is just, ooh, that looks a little bit funky, doesn't it? Well, there was another block that caught my attention. We could try, done that wrong. That block right there. Let's close that, put this in the middle. This is going to make a facade which we're going to put next to the screen basically, so it closes off the bit of sky that we can see. That looks superb. That was a cool choice. Alright, I like that a lot. And over here as well we've got a import bus. What we're going to do is put that onto our ender chest, which is slowly accumulating resources. The reason we're doing it this way now is so that it runs through our ME system, our applied energistics system, and it's also going to import these things very slow, and we can make upgrades here. I want to put some acceleration cards on this, so it requires the fluix crystals, and look at that, things that we've already made. So then we can put some speed upgrades in here and it will import the things quickly. These things were so easy to craft thanks to this wonderful system we got in front of us. So now everything here has been sped up, meaning when we chuck our resources in there, we'll get the end stuff a little bit quicker, which is cool. And around the back here, we've got 4 for this thing as well, right? So it's importing slowly, and now it's going to blitz its way through those items. Oh, this is so cool. That is so very, very cool. And I think this is a good place to end up this episode. We have successfully got our applied energistics system in. I hope I've explained it in a way that lets you follow along. That is, of course, the goal of my series, is to teach you as well. But yes, that is it from me this episode of Hermit Skies. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. As always, thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now, and bye-bye.